As the leader of the Booner Pat, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff and Booner. It's Friday, December 5th. We're coming off a Lions win, and today we're going to break it down before the weekend. An absolute ass-kicking on Thursday Night Football, or at least offensive ass-kicking. That was, and defensively, they made some plays too. I'm not going to take anything away. Turnovers, sacks, they made it happen. Wow, it was a great one. One of the more important games this year, just in terms of, just importance of, staying alive, I guess. I guess they technically would have still been alive, but it would have been much harder to make the playoffs. And you beat the Dallas Cowboys, one of the hotter teams in football, post their bye week. They've been playing great defensively. They've been an elite offense, and you go out there and you belt the ass on offense and defense. You're opportunistic. You were really good in the first half, only allowed 9 points, no touchdowns. In the second half, let up a little bit more yards, a little more touchdowns, but it's okay. It's all good. How you feeling, Boone?
Feeling good, man. Bright and early in the morning, ready to go. Fun win, I can't wrap my head around yet if this, I'm starting to. It's just weird that Lions, just every time that I kind of step out a little bit, they just pull me right back in, and I'm right here again, ready to kind of be like this team, man. It's a weird NFL season, I think. So I'm optimistic after watching last night. It was really good to see, if I'm being honest. Like, if they would have just won that game offensively or just one way on defense or something like that, I would have been a little worried. But the fact that they won this game just basically off of like all three phases, essentially playing very well football or very good football, I feel good this morning. Gives me a little bit of optimism.
Yeah, they played the good old complimentary football, which we haven't seen at least a lot of lately. But they played with a different type of energy yesterday, and I think what you kind of mentioned this over the last couple of weeks, but they just haven't looked like they've been playing with a lot of juice.
Yesterday it was really good, actually. Like, not even the word I've been using is just with like anger. Like, it's football. Like, we're not playing patty cake, and we're not out here just like, hey man, it's nice to see. Like, it's football, man. Like, you want to hurt someone, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you really want to go out there and like throw someone against the against the wall, like, and you want to destroy them. You haven't seen that out of this Lions team about like in weeks, since like week 5 or 6. Yesterday,
oh yeah,
there was a lot of guys that I got that feeling from, where I was maybe a lot of these Lions fans or these Lions players watch Crunch Time and they're like, hey boys, he might be right. He might be right. Maybe we are, and we have been playing a little soft. Let's go take somebody's head off, like I said the other day. I'm not gonna say that. I almost said I was gonna say murder someone. That's probably not a great thing to say. Metaphorically, murder someone. Just like take someone's head off, like destroy them. They did that yesterday. Like, every single offense, defense, special team. Like, I was actually, Jeff. Like, I know you. You're a guy that's like very like, I'm very cautious. You gotta like, I know you had a little back in your head like, this team has a little bit of juice. There's a little juice.
I thought
there's a little juice here.
That's what I want to make sure is very clear. Like, for me, and we're going to talk about the contender stuff, and I think what last night they showed, you have to give credit to that team for beating the Cowboys in the way they did. I mean, the Cowboys aren't just we can't treat the Cowboys like some big bad wolf and then now just say they're bums. Like,
because if they would have won that game, the Cowboys, all of a sudden, everyone would be talking about them as because they've been playing so well.
The Cowboys are a good team. I mean, they're not a great team, but they're a good team. I mean, that's a good win. You saw, and I mean, Dan Campbell had a great game plan going to that game. They're like, hey, we're gonna just throw the ball a crap ton and expose the secondary. I think Dan Campbell actually talked about that too after the game. He's like, hey, Jared, this is gonna be a lot on your shoulders. We're gonna attack this secondary, make them cover, and they did, and they lit them up. So I mean, the Lions had a great game plan. I don't want to take anything away from the win. There's going to be things we talk about within the game, or talk about, hey, are they still contenders? We have faith in them to be contenders, but overall, I want to make sure I do give credit, like Dan Campbell, Calvin Shepard, for again getting the guys out, at least in making them. I guess getting them into like a opportunistic mindset where they were able to capitalize on turnovers and sacks. I know they gave up 30, but still, the first half they were really good. All that stuff. Dave Phipp, do you got
Hey, bounce back.
I know people are talking about TK85 yesterday. Big plays on special teams. TK85.
Yeah.
So talk about juice. He brought juice on special teams. TK85. So you found your returner while Khalif's out. So I mean, he looked better honestly than Khalif did when he was in. So shout out to him.
He
but
did.
Yeah, I want to make sure I don't take anything away.
And Jacob Sailors looked good too. And Jacob Sailors, I'll give him credit. Jacob Sailors, he's one that's always been back there. He's been kind of the one that was back there for a couple of weeks. Quick return. Jacob Sailors didn't look that bad yesterday. He looked good.
Yeah, especially, but that's that's what great teams do, man. You look good on all three phases of the ball, all three phases. Special teams, defense, offense. Lately, it's just been a little more inconsistent, but yesterday they were able to put it together. So, I mean,
very well said, Jeff. Very well said.
Yeah, I mean, you're at home with packed crowd. They did their thing. What's going on?
I said I didn't realize there's only one home game. You have 4 games remaining. 3 of the 4 are on the road. That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, if you didn't know already, now you know.
Yeah, you had your little home stretch. Now you have to go on the road.
Finish the season on the road.
I got some clips here from Dan Campbell I do want to play that we can get to. I mean, Dan spoke to the media after the game, talked about the win, talked about how they've been playing complimentary football. So we'll show some of those clips we weren't able to show on last night's postgame show, and then we'll talk about it. But here's Dan on the Lions playing complimentary football. Dan Campbell. Hold on.
That's awesome.
Your offense turning it into touchdown special teams. When you guys play that well in all 3 phases, you got to believe you're pretty tough to beat, right?
Well, that game there is one of the few we've had where we really played complimentary football. I mean, really, really did, and to be able to score right before halftime, we come out, we get the takeaway. It was a great job by Barnes. And then we turn it into points. I mean, that was huge, all of that, the whole sequence of, just the momentum and carrying it and helping each other out. And so everything was big, and the guys really stepped up. But we played complimentary football. And that, above all, is what really makes a difference. That's what good teams do. It doesn't matter how good your offense or defense is. Man, if you are not able to help each other out when you need it with one of the phases, man, it's tough. It makes it tough, and we were able to do that today.
I think I mean, we were talking about that last night before Dan said it, and then Dan said it, so it's very obvious. I mean, that was, I think, the biggest takeaway from the game itself is how they complimented each other. They scored 14 points off turnovers.
Yeah.
They haven't been doing that lately.
And he brought up a good point, too, in the press conference. The third turnover, they just need the ball. So they could have – that's why I said, I think, back to the basics. Man, just get some takeaways. Get some extra possessions. You won the game by what, two scores? How many takeaways did you have? More than them.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Scored 14 off of them. You won by 14. It's like, hey, man, if you take the ball away in this league, you win football games. It's a pretty cut and dry, boom, get takeaways, win a game.
Helps when your boy Jack Campbell gets punch outs, which the guy's been playing out of his freaking mind.
D Barnes, I mean, it's this linebacker crew that keeps this defense in this thing, actually. I'll tell you what.
From the linebacker.
Anzo had a couple big plays. Jack Campbell.
He was insane.
That man is incredible, Jeff. He is, I mean, He's incredible. I don't know, too. Like you did mention yesterday, like the one thing that I said in the offseason for Jack to be able to really get his name out there for All Pro, it's like when you do have these big games, when you have these prime time games, you have to make noise in those games because national TV, like national crowds are watching. Every single, national media member is watching. I feel like Jack's done that this year. Like last night to see Jack Campbell do what Jack Campbell did, man. Forced fumble, safety. It should have been a safety. Like this guy he's incredible right now. He is. You could argue he's the best linebacker in the NFL today. Like as of right now. I know yesterday some people said Fred Warner. He's out for the year, so he's not playing this year. But he should be an All-Pro. He should be first-team All-Pro this year. He's having an incredible season.
Yeah, he is. I was just checking PFF. He's second overall. He's the second highest graded overall. He's a second overall highest graded linebacker. Number one in run. He's the number one run defender among linebackers. He's 14th in a pass rush grade, so he has a couple sacks this year. He's 27th in coverage, but I think that's improved from last year. Oh no, a little back, but it's okay. I mean, he's still he's working as a coverage guy, but that's why they have Anzo. That's kind of his role more so. But Jack Campbell, this year he deserves to be Pro Bowl, deserves to be All Pro, especially the way he's playing consistency. I think that's the biggest thing with Jack Campbell is how consistent he's been game to game. He's getting you double-digit tackles, potentially a forced fumble, probably half a sack to a sack.
Yep.
And and then if he'll mix in there maybe a tackle for loss or two. I mean, he's just exactly what you're getting out of Jack Campbell every single game, and he might be one of the only players on defense where you know what you're getting every single game. I'll just keep it like there's Ali McNeil, even Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden for the most part, but there's some games where you're like, oh, I didn't see Aiden out there tonight. They just didn't have it today. Jack Campbell every single game is just showing up and making plays. So credit to Jack Campbell, man. This is he's taken that step, and I will say not paying Alex Anzalone was the right decision. But seeing Jack Campbell ball out this year should make you feel even better about that decision. That he is your future green dot. He is your future Mike linebacker. So shout out to Jack Campbell. Yeah, he was big, man. He's big. Every time there's a tackle for loss or tackle at the line of scrimmage, Jack Campbell is there.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Every time you look up, you see his number 46, and you're like, all right, here we go again.
Dude, I'm telling you too. Like it's crazy that you think like right now he's currently second in the NFL in tackles on your team alone, Jeff. Like he has 5 sacks. Aiden Hutchinson has 8.5. Jack Campbell has 5.
Which is, by the way, that's insane.
8.5 to 5. Like Jack Campbell is out there not only just like, hey, getting tackles, stopping in the run game. Like he is doing everything possible. He has 3 forced fumbles on the year, which I believe might be second or third in the NFL. Like he's doing everything right now. If you don't look at it and be like, hey man, Jack Campbell, incredible game. Yesterday he was he wasn't graded that well actually yesterday, which is shocking. That's why sometimes the PFF stuff is a little
He wasn't graded yesterday that well.
He was 8th on the team in defense. Not on the team total, just 8th on the defensive side of the ball. 63.5 grade. Run defense 75.1.
How do you?
It was really his coverage. His coverage was 52.8. I'm looking at it right now.
I say because the data's not out for that game.
Yeah, it is. They got it out.
That's weird. It's telling me the data's under review. Can you send? I want to see. Can you send me?
I'm pretty sure. What are you looking at? Share your screen real quick. Can you share your screen?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
It just says data. It says grades pending review on PFF.
Shit, mine didn't say that.
You're like looking at your game.
Am I looking at the wrong? Am I looking at the wrong game? Week 13, right? 2025. Oh, I'm so dumb.
Okay, I knew something.
Yeah, I was looking at the Packers game.
Yeah, the only reason why I said I was like they don't come out with grades this early.
Oh, dude, that is so funny.
You know what?
Bro.
You know what though, and that's good because now we know he's not going to be the 8th highest.
Oh, dude, that had me so worried. I was like, how is he the 8th highest graded player? I was so confused for a second. I was like, there's no way, dude. That guy had an incredible game.
Nick B says yesterday was Tyreek's best game. I want to see.
I got to go back and watch.
Yeah, I didn't see. I didn't see Tyler. Like I didn't. Not that I don't want that to sound like I didn't think he played well. I don't know. I wasn't. I didn't pay attention to Tyreek. I didn't. The run defense had its moments, so I would want to credit Tyreek for that. Pass rushing standpoint, I'd like to see Tyreek some reps from him, so I'll check that out later. But that's great news if he did have that good of a game. By the way, Jack Campbell did not get a game ball. At least
neither did Jahmyr Gibbs. I kind of like it. Just hey, these guys. We don't play. I don't even know who got the game balls, but I just know Jahmyr Gibbs did not get one.
Yeah, Jahmyr didn't get a game ball, but Dan Campbell did give out his 3 game balls. Let's see.
Oh, I'm so interested. Oh, I know who one's going to be.
It's a damn good win, guys. Tells us who we are. Nobody, man. We write our own story. We said it all along. That's the way to show up, man. Way to show up. We do what we want to do and how we're going to do it. You guys showed up. Was it perfect? No. Do we have a lot to clean up? Yeah, that's a good win, man. That was a hot team, right? And that's one down. We got another one to go after this. But we get a little breather here. Yeah. We get just a little bit of breather, all right? Which is all good. All right, I got 4 game balls, man. All right, you're going to have to bear with me. I'm going to start with this one. All right, this guy just had the NFL record for most receptions through the first 5 seasons of 511. All right, and 6 catches for 92 yards, and the freaking guy just lays it on the line every time, man. You're a stud, St. Ron. This guy, I told him, we told him, it was going to be on him. This offensive performance was going to start with him, man. You were going to light the fire, and then we were going to roll on, man. All right, 25 and 34, 309 yards, 1 touchdown, 100.11 rating, quarterback rating, Jared Goff.
Keep it rolling, fellas. Belief is a crazy thing. Keep believing. We're on our way, all right?
That's right. Defensively, 3 sacks, 3 total tackles, in a big way.
Coaches challenge us, and that's what you do when the coach challenges.
One more, guys. 3 kickoff returns for 120 yards.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Takes all 11 every play. Let's keep it going.
Defense, that was 3 takeaways. Turned to 14 points and us taking a knee after the last one for victory. That's the way to go. All right? Break it down. Let's go.
Hey, good win, fellas. Real quick. Remember whatever feeling you had on Monday this week to get us here today. Come back, have a nice little time off, recharge, ready for this last little quarter of the season, fellas. We can do anything we put our minds to. I promise you. I promise you. We're not there. What is it? Win!
Hey, Tom Kennedy.
Dude, Tom Kennedy getting
Come on.
Tom Kennedy getting all the love there is awesome.
Come on. Maybe they'll keep him on the squad like as they should, man. Keep that man a roster spot. That's so cool to see, bro, because it's crazy in Detroit. Like, there's just players that you just see that are you just like are just here, practice squad. Like, you never gets love, just constantly getting cut. I think for the last 4 years, Tom Kennedy has been cut minimum 72 times and brought back on the practice squad. I mean, you love to see stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, good for him. Yeah, dude. He's just been a journeyman in this Lions team, and no one else has picked him up around the league. He's stuck it out with the Lions, man. I think that's a cool moment, bro. It really is. That's so cool. That's really cool. They can't I mean, Steve Lehman put it right. He's never gotten taken off the practice squad from the Lions. After a game like that in prime time, there's a chance if you throw him back out there, it's TK over.
Yeah, I mean,
is that a good one? Do you like that? No, that was a bad one. All right.
Yeah, TKO. It's over.
How did I not think of that? I said TK over. How do I not think of that one? Oh man, that's a good one, GCJ.
Yeah, Tom Kennedy he looks much younger. I mean, the guy.
Well, he's only 29. I mean, you're acting like he's old, dude. I'm 28. I mean,
No. I'm just saying
old.
I feel like Tom Kennedy's just been around forever. To me, he just feels like a rookie. Like you just look at him like he's a young pup. He's been. I mean, he's only been in the league 4 years, I guess. So that's fair. He's been with the Lions from 2021 to 2025. He's just been on the practice squad and helped out. But he's as solid as they come, dude. He's as solid as they come.
They just can't put him down, man.
Even at receiver, I'll say it. Like the guy can make some plays too. You know,
when numbers called,
yeah.
When they say, "Hey, TK, A5," man makes the play.
Hoorah.
Remember that? Hoorah! Then he runs on the field. But I mean, seriously though, like the last week on like that third down with the Packers, like there was like 3rd and like 15. It's like he goes up and catches the ball. We're like, oh, I think it was like Caleb. Caleb's like Isaac Tesla, and it's like gets up and like, that's TK85. Yeah. Like that's come on, man, put some respect on his name.
Hey, but I'll say a different white guy, but Isaac Tesla, hey, out there making plays yesterday, man.
Yeah.
We've been saying it. I mean, we've been talking. TK85 might not have been able to play because Isaac Tesla, but Isaac Tesla yesterday. Touchdown catch, which just blown coverage. I mean, that was just way too. You don't get too many touchdown catches like that in the NFL. That's just easy work from Isaac Tesla. And then the second one, I think that was 4 seconds before halftime. And Isaac Tesla almost got a touchdown with 4 seconds before halftime. That is what, if that were to happen, if I'm at Eberflus, you cut whoever that corner is right there. You give up a touchdown in 4 seconds.
That was one of their rookies.
That's one of the worst things you could probably do in the NFL is give up a touchdown before halftime, knowing that you got 4 seconds left. Knowing Jared was throwing that out of bounds. It's like, hey, it's either you're catching this or it's out of bounds.
Yep.
And Isaac caught it, but I don't know. I didn't see the replays. I don't know how close he was actually to being in, but Isaac showed up yesterday. He was good as a run blocker. There was times where they just had Isaac Tesla in one wide receiver sets as a blocker.
I think Isaac Tesla is a really good blocker. I think people forget a little bit too.
Elite.
Do you remember the Brad Holmes comment this offseason about Isaac Tesla? He was like, when we were scouting wide receivers this last offseason or whenever it was last year, he said Isaac Tesla is blocking. The last time he saw someone block like a wide receiver block like Isaac Tesla was Amon-Ra St. Brown at USC.
Yeah,
that was what he said. He literally said like in the last guy that we saw that could block like him was Amon-Ra. So like he's going to go out there. I mean, he had that crackdown block, dude. That instantly, I was watching him because I needed 5 yards from him. And by the way, just fun fact, I had a dream last night. We only got about 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I had a dream last night that Isaac Tesla got an extra 5 yards and Jared Goff ran for a rushing yard. And I hit both parlays. I swear I had that dream. It was one of the most incredible dreams of my life. And I woke up like it happened. And then I realized I was sleeping.
Well, I did want to see. I know that Lions PR didn't tweet it out. I mean, there's nothing. I guess there isn't like a stat to tweet out. But I wanted to see with the catches. He only has like 8 catches, but 4 TDs. Like, which is pretty. I mean, the guys when they need him to score, he scores. I mean, that's pretty impressive. He's a good red zone
everything, dude. It's incredible.
But they didn't put anything out. But they had a lot of stuff on different players. They had something on Tom Kennedy as well on here. Actually.
No, pull that up. We need that. That's.
Lord. Here, I'll show it right here. It's oh yeah.
I hope people go and look at like the Lions PR Twitter because it's actually like they do such a good job and they find everything. I don't know how they do it. It's actually very impressive. I want the system that they have.
Well, I mean, they got like you see this right here. So they tweeted out Lions wide receiver Tom Kennedy is the first Lions player since Stephon Logan in 2010 to produce 80-plus kickoff return yards and 20-plus punt return yards in consecutive games. He's also the first Lion since Jeremy Ross in 2013 to log a game with 120-plus kickoff return yards and 20-plus punt return yards.
I didn't even put together that last game that man had a couple good returns. I'm surprised
Khalif Raymond hasn't done this.
Khalif Raymond doesn't kick return.
Oh, so he did both yesterday.
Khalif's really just a punt returner.
So
Tom Kennedy's done both for the last 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
I think there's a world where Khalif Raymond comes back and maybe you have TK still back there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's done.
Maybe not.
He was doing both, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, Dallas Cowboys. I don't think their special teams unit's like a terrible unit. I think I think Tom Kennedy was just making plays out there. I think they kind of surprised them, to be honest. I think he kind of surprised the Dallas Cowboys a little bit. You know,
who's this guy?
You see this 5'10" white dude returning kicks. You're like, who's this guy? And he's just gritty and quick, and he's making plays. So yeah, he was on Detroit Lions PR. Obviously, you have Jared Goff on there, Jahmyr on there, and then all of a sudden, Tom Kennedy, first Lions player since Stephon Logan.
It is crazy that Jahmyr Gibbs actually, now that I think about it, I guess he didn't break the record, but he tied Barry. So I guess next game he should get a game ball. But him essentially, like the records that Jahmyr Gibbs yesterday broke or tied, those are insane itself. I was listening to 97.1. I actually want to get your thought on this in the chat real quick. I was listening to 97.1 last night, the Hammer and Stoney. They both were on last night. That's what kept me up for my hour drive home. And Stoney actually asked a question. I thought it was a good question. And a lot of, like, if you're an old head, you're not going to like it. But they were like, can you put Jahmyr Gibbs in the Barry Sanders conversation? Like, if you're talking about through the first 4 years. And it's like, you have no choice but to. And I think the Hammer kind of brought up a good point. Like, they both are elite and probably at their own things, where Barry was good at being kind of elusive and, breaking tackles and all that. And Jahmyr is just athletic and a speedster, man. Like, you can't catch him. Like, once he gets going, you're not tackling him and he's going to take off, right? Like any open field, unlike we've ever seen. And if you do look at the stats, it's I think, and those are two, Stoney and the Hammer, they're two people who covered Barry, I believe, right? Like, they've been doing this since the 90s and they've been going. I believe, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I believe the way they were talking, it sounded like they covered them or watched them. So two people who have seen both play, and they both were just like, it's hard not to be able to put Jahmyr in that Barry Sanders conversation right now. Like, it is, like, through 4 years. And they said, well, if you look at Barry had more rushing yards than Jahmyr. But the thing is Barry didn't do what Jahmyr did out of the backfield in the pass game. So it's like they each have like their own thing that they've been very, very good at. And like, even like with Barry, he probably runs for 150 yards, but look at Jahmyr, man, the man has 120 plus all purpose in the game like last night with 3 touchdowns. And like Jahmyr, if he gets one more touchdown, he has the most touchdowns in NFL history through first 4 seasons. Like, I think that's touchdowns. Like, we're not talking receptions. Like, I think Amon Ross through 5 years is incredible, but we're talking about like touchdowns through 4 seasons. That's an insane stat. I think it's 4 seasons, right? Or 3.
It's before turning 24.
Well, no, there's another one too where it's first.
This is his 3rd season.
So maybe it's first 3 seasons.
So, but what's impressive about it is Jahmyr has as many touchdowns sharing a backfield, but also, this is obviously a high-powered offense. I'm very different from back in the day, but he would have way more touchdowns. You know, he's had double-digit touchdowns in his first 3 years. He had 10 his rookie year, 16 last year, 13 this year with 4 games left. But that's also with Montgomery getting double-digit touchdowns. So, he probably would have more touchdowns if he didn't share a backfield and more yards, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that the big thing I think you can say this about the comparisons. I think he's the best back in a Lions uniform since Barry. I think that's probably where I would go with. He's the best back. You're watching the best back since Barry.
Is that Barry calling?
Yeah, it is actually. I think
is it weird though? Like, those are two people that have been on radio and covering this team since then.
Yeah.
The fact that they're bringing it up and they're like, listen, like the Hammer's like, I'm telling, like the Hammer's sitting there going like, there's a comp here. Like this is something incredible. That opens my eyes a little bit to be like, hey, if Jahmyr does this over the next 3 or 4 more years and he continues to play at this pace, dude.
I think the thing, if you want to be in that Barry conversation, I think it's about what he does in his prime, which he will be here. It looks like for a
He's
lot
not in his
longer.
prime yet.
No, I'm saying like
I'm kidding.
I think
joking,
Barry,
dude.
No, because I get what you're saying. Because he had over 1,800 yards at 26, 1,500 at 27, 1,500 at 28, 2,000 at 29,
It's
and then
incredible,
1,500
dude.
at 30, and then he retired. I think Jahmyr, if you want to have those realistic comparisons, I think going forward, it looks like it's going to be the Jahmyr Gibbs show. I mean, Montgomery this year has had moments, but you could tell this year they really gave they gave Jahmyr the crown. Like,
Dude,
they're giving him more carries. They're leaning on him a lot more than they did the last 2 years.
Barry Sanders. I just want to throw this out there. As a rookie, are you ready? Are you ready for this, Jeff? Ready?
Yeah.
As a rookie, first team All Pro. Second year, first team All Pro. Third year, first team All Pro. Fourth year, second team All Pro. Fifth year, second team. Sixth year, first team. Seventh year, first team. Eighth year, second team. Ninth year, first team.
Hey, 6-time All-Pro. And he played in like what?
And he was second. Oh, wait. Does Barry have an MVP?
I think he.
I think Barry has an MVP.
Yeah, you're not beating that.
I'm looking at it here, and he tied with Brett Favre in 1997 for votes in MVP award. Why is he tied? Did he get robbed?
He won the MVP award in 1997. I think he shared it with Brett Favre though.
Barry has an MVP, dude. I mean, he's never going to pass.
They did it that 1 year where you share MVP.
He has an MVP. Yeah, no, you're not. He's not going to. No, Barry's the GOAT. Barry's the greatest ever. But no, I think the comp. Like the Hammer was like, how incredible is it that like for them that have covered Barry and Jahmyr, like they get to cover two of the greatest to do it at that position potentially.
Yeah, I mean Barry also has an Offensive Player of the Year award. I think he has two of them.
Yeah, he has. So his accolades: NFL MVP in 1997, 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, 6-time. This guy played 10 seasons, Jeff. 6-time first team All Pro and 4-time second team All Pro. So he played 10 seasons. He has 10 Pro Bowls and he has 10 All Pro teams. He's the greatest to ever do it. Why is 313 saying no MVP? It says it on Wikipedia. And then when I go to the voting, he tied with Brett Favre.
Yeah, 1997.
Yeah. Honestly, I never knew Barry won an MVP. I didn't know that until now.
Yeah, he ran for over 2,000 yards.
I think he had like 25 all-purpose too. 2,500 all-purpose.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So yeah, if we're talking, sir, I'm in a different. Listen, I was born after Barry Sanders retired, so I didn't get to watch Barry. But again, I will say this: Barry Sanders clearly I think he's the GOAT. He's the greatest running back,
dude, ever all time. 10 out of 10 all pros. That's incredible. No one will ever do that ever.
He retired at 30 years old, man. Like he probably could have played a couple more years and still had 1,400 yards a year, but he didn't. I think
retired after 1,500 yards.
Yeah, I think Jahmyr, though, to give him credit, since Barry in a Lions uniform, he is like he's electric. I mean, the Lions haven't had arguably the number one running back in the NFL since then. I mean, that is like that's insane. You know what I mean? Since Barry. So I will give him that. So he's got. I just want to see. Listen, and there's already been reported. Ian Rappaport put it out while we were live yesterday or right after the game that they have plans to. They want to make Jahmyr Gibbs a priority to extend him this offseason. Which,
yep.
I mean, I don't know if it's like an obvious take or not, but I thought it was. I mean, I think that's pretty big. I mean, they've been saving money to extend guys, and we talk about the Jack Campbells of the world or the Brian Branches of the world. Well. Let me put this on the screen. It's the Calvin Shepard thing. Didn't mean to do that. But Jahmyr Gibbs, they already kind of talked about. They want to make sure he's a Lion for the next couple of years. They want to make sure he's extended. He's in that draft class. He has the 5th year option as a 1st round pick. But Jahmyr Gibbs is considered a priority number 1 for the Lions this offseason. to extend him. He's having a great year. He's had some 200-yard games, 200 all-purpose yards. And when you look at top paid running backs in the NFL, I'm assuming that Jahmyr is going to probably break that. I mean, as he should. But I think Saquon, let's see, he makes
17.
AAV wise, it says Saquon's making 20. And McCaffrey's making 19.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was 17. So Saquon, I think Saquon might have just signed a deal this offseason then. He might have read up.
Yeah, average per year, it says Saquon 20, Christian 19, Derrick Henry 15, Jonathan Taylor 14. So that's like your top 4. So he's probably going to be 20 million. I mean, that's probably what he's going to get.
Can I ask you this too? Because I know, and I always think the running back, and I've talked to like just a random Lions fans, you know what I mean? Like we meet a lot of Lions fans out and about. I feel like one of the conversations that come up the most, one obviously is the quarterback situation with Jared Goff. People always love to bring that up to us. But number 2, and this is shocking to me, but I always, and I've been around you a lot where people bring it up, but a lot of people around us bring up the signing of a running back, and not just in general, just Jahmyr, but in general in the NFL. I hear people talk about it a lot on extending running backs. And I think a lot of people's points of views with that is, hey, you don't re-sign running backs, right? You draft. Like the other day I was going through with some people, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round running backs draft. You see Isaiah Pacheco, you see Kyle Monangai, the Chicago Bears, like 7th round guys that are, could start for some of these teams that are playoff teams. And it like proves that, hey, you shouldn't extend running backs. Like, you should not go out there and pay them a lot of money. I've always had you've had kind of that side or point of view of you move on and draft again. That's been you, Jeff. I've always said there's exceptions. And then when you have a Saquon Barkley, a CMC, a Jahmyr, Gibbs that I now throw in that, then I don't think you can move on. Like I just, again, like I'm not saying Jahmyr is Barry. We know what Barry is, but that's the closest thing you'll ever get to a guy like Barry again. You just do not shut the door and walk away and say, sorry, you're playing your contract out. We're probably not bringing you back. Like, go to free agency. I just don't see that with a guy like, he's just too talented. And like, he changes your offense. You could have anyone on that field. Obviously you need an O-line, but you could have any wide receiver, anyone out there. He is just way too talented to be like, yeah, go ahead, go to a different team. Because what happens if he ends up in the NFC? You're going to get destroyed by him every season.
Yeah, I think I think my take on it, and I've been people used to call me a running back hater because I always say with running backs, it's a tough position. It's a position that has a lot of wear and tear. It's probably one of the more replaceable positions. So that's what I've always said about running backs. But I've agreed with you that there are some exceptions you look at where, a running back to certain teams, like, for example, Christian McCaffrey getting traded for and extended. He was so important to the 49ers and what they did that, you could argue Jahmyr Gibbs at this point is that part of that exception. I think what helps is how versatile he is. He's basically a receiver as well. I mean, and I think what also helps is he's been pretty healthy for his career. He hasn't suffered major injuries. Like if he tore his ACL or got hurt, it's like, okay, he's already stacking up injuries. He's been really healthy. So he's healthy. He's obviously one of the best backs in the league. You can use him in the pass game, which I think adds value because you're almost paying almost like a receiver at the same time. So I think there's a lot of good things that Jahmyr Gibbs brings to the table that you could argue, hey, this guy's your offense this year. He's super important. So I'm not as opposed. Like if they're going to extend the guy, I completely understand. Like, I get it. He's super valuable to this offense. He's the engine of the offense in the run game. If Jahmyr Gibbs is having a big game, the offense is usually playing pretty well. He's the engine. So I think
every time he has a big game, you could tell it was like a massive change in this team every single time.
And it's just kind of, it's where the Lions are at as a franchise. I mean, you're going to have to make tough decisions. And, with Jack Campbell coming up, they want to obviously extend Jack Campbell. Jahmyr Gibbs going to get extended. Maybe Sam Laporta's the one that he's the odd one out. I don't know. Brian Branch, like these are all guys that are going to command 15 to 20 million per year.
Yep.
Sam Laporta, you could argue, I mean, Trey McBride got 19. Sam Laporta is another guy. He probably is going to get around that number if he were to get extended. Jack Campbell's going to get what's top paid linebackers, like 15, 20 million, something like that, 20 million. He's going to get that.
You're going to have to figure out a way. Yeah. I don't know how you do it, but I guess you got to figure out a way.
Jahmyr, 20 mil. So
one of them's going to be left out. I don't know who it is, but I'll tell you what, it's not going to be Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell. That's going to be my, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can promise you it will not be Jahmyr Gibbs or Jack Campbell. Those two guys, they're the best respective players on both sides of the ball for you. You are not moving on from either one of them. And if you did, I think it's idiotic. And I do think like D-Mont, I love D-Mont. Jeff, you know I've been a D-Mont guy from day one. I would love to bring him back. And I've been someone that even a couple months ago, I've told you like D-Mont's when you bring back. I see more so the vision of drafting a running back to pair with Jahmyr and getting a guy in a rookie deal at that position. I see it. Because if you could save $5 million and you can sign Jahmyr for 20 and you save 5 for a different position like Sam Laporta or something, you can get another 5. I could see that. But I don't think you can go away. I think the reason that Jahmyr stayed so healthy over the last 3 seasons is because you've had David Montgomery.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because he hasn't had all the wear and tear the other backs do. I mean, Jahmyr's always up there in production. He's always up there in rushing yards and rushing touchdowns, but he's always like 20th in carries, which I think speaks volumes to how actually good he is. But they keep him fresh, which I think helps. You know, that's the big thing, man. Is running back is a position where you get hurt the most. You know, it just is. It has the most wear and tear. But Jahmyr, guy just stays
I'm
healthy.
interested.
And to be honest, it goes back to him in college, because if you go back to Jahmyr in college, he didn't get a lot of carries in college either. You know, he wasn't like a bell cow back like Jonathan Taylor was at Wisconsin. You know, like he's got fresher legs than other running backs. You know, I remember that was the biggest argument for DeAndre Swift coming out from Georgia, is like DeAndre Swift had. It's like the big thing is he doesn't have wear and tear. He doesn't have wear and tear. But when he got in the NFL, he was always hurt. You know, and now Jahmyr Gibbs really is never hurt.
Dude, by the end of this week, because as of right now, the stats, when you look at the stats, the Lions have played 13. They have played one more game than every team in the NFL. By the end of this week, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be 15th or 16th in the NFL in carries.
Yeah, which is like,
and he's third in the NFL in yards, in rushing yards. 15th in carries, third in yards.
Yeah.
If you gave him as many carries as I don't know, Christian McCaffrey, who had 237 carries, James Cook 231, you're talking about 180-ish for Jahmyr Gibbs right now. That's 50 more carries. If you give Jahmyr Gibbs 50 more carries, that man right now, Jeff, I mean, he would have, I don't know, 1,500 rushing yards right at the moment. Like, let's do the math. He averages 5.7 a carry. What's the 5.7 times 50? 285. This is easy math. This is good math. He would have over 1,300 rushing yards. He'd be leading the league. If he had as many carries as those guys did, he'd be leading the league in rushing yards.
Yeah, he's got that home run hit. Not too many guys like Saquon when he had 2,000. He was hitting home runs a lot.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor can hit home runs. You know, Christian McCaffrey, he's just gonna kill you by, he's death by 1,000 cuts. He's just gonna, he'll have moments where he breaks off. But Jahmyr is one of those guys. It's like every time he gets the ball, you're like, this could go. He could hit his head off the goalpost. He could go 80 yards, 70 yards, 60 yards and score. So he's it helps also. He's one of the fastest players in the NFL. I mean, he just is. It's just how it goes. So yeah, he's incredible. Dan Campbell talked about Jahmyr after the game. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about the Lions running back. Let me play this.
He's unique. He's special. Everybody knows what he can do in the run game, and really we couldn't quite get him going the way we really wanted to in the run game now. But yet he did find some pay dirt on a couple of those. But the pass game stuff, he just continues to grow. The more we give him and the more we work with him in practice, we just continue to try to, open his horizons and give him a little bit more. Man, he just grows. He gets better and better. And then he gets in the game and the routes get crisper and crisper. And he just keeps going, man. There's just not a cap on this dude yet. And there again, he works his tail off. He's freaking smart. He's instinctive. He's a team guy. I mean, he's something else. So the sky's the limit for him. He's just getting started now. He's just getting started.
Yeah, the Monty thing's interesting because I think you saw the shift this year with giving more carries to Jahmyr, and they actually lined up Monty's contract to the end of Jahmyr Gibbs' contract. So I as much as you want to keep Monty on the team, that's a tough decision they got to make. And I think the way you pay more guys is if you find production out of guys making pennies because they're on rookie contracts. In one of the positions they seem to have a pretty good player on a rookie contract. And Dan Campbell talked about this in the post-game press conference. It might be Miles Frazier along with Tate Ratledge, 2 rookies they drafted this year. We know Tate Ratledge has been steadily improving. Miles Frazier got a look today or yesterday, and he had a couple penalties, kind of getting used to the speed of the NFL. Jared Goff's cadences, he had a couple of those rookie moments, but looked pretty good, I'll say. And Dan kind of said, hey, we want to get him some reps. That's kind of why we were throwing him out there with Tristan Colon. We want to get him reps, and you're trying to find a balance.
So he was asked about that?
Yeah, he told him he just wanted to get him some playing time. He's like,
what a big game to be like, let's just get you some reps.
We want to get him reps. And that means, you know what that means, though? They trust him because he's looked pretty good in practice. They're like, this guy's, he looks good.
The only negatives I could say yesterday were those false starts. I know that's a big deal, but that's honestly, that's the only negative. It felt like he played well.
Yeah. No, I mean,
for a rookie.
The reps, again, I got to go back and watch Miles Frazier reps, but I just based on what I saw, pass blocking, very solid. Yep. I know Xavier just put in there Frazier pass block PFF was 80. I don't know if that's true, and
PFF grades aren't out yet.
Yeah, I don't know where
this happens. This happens every time there's a game, dude. There are these fake PFF grades that get put out there. I don't know, and then like we posted them one time. They got put out like the very next morning. We posted them, and then like we were like, this player had the worst. These 3 players were the worst graded, and then 3 hours later it came out, and they were like not even close to the worst graded. And it was like, who the players were? It was like Penei Sewell, and like legit like people who cover their team put those out, and we just took it from them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm nervous to.
I don't know if maybe writers get it before. I don't know.
But they were wrong. The people who had them were wrong last time. They were wrong.
I would assume. I would say based on the eye test, he'll have I think he'll have a pretty decent. I don't know if the penalties factor into grades, but he'll have a pretty good one. I mean, they ran Jahmyr Gibbs when they had a second or first. I think it was first rushing touchdown. They ran right behind Miles Frazier. They ran right behind him.
Him and Taylor. Yeah.
Miles Frazier played multiple positions in college. He started at left tackle. He started at right tackle. He started at left guard. He started at right guard. I think he played a lot of. If I'm not mistaken, I think he played most of his snaps at left guard. If it's right guard, I'm even more impressed. He played left guard, but I think he played left guard mainly. Could be wrong on that. I'd have to double check that, but he looked like he belonged, and he looked very good. So they might have something in Miles Frazier. I know we joked about it. It's like if Miles Frazier is just like a game-breaking rookie, you might be better. This offensive line might be good.
They might actually.
But he actually did look pretty good.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. And if they're throwing him in the fire right now, maybe he gets more playing time down the stretch.
Dude,
that might be a guy like
for the Dallas Cowboys in primetime football, a winner go home game essentially for your franchise. For them to trust Miles Frazier already to be like, hey, let's just get you these reps. Like I think that's very telling. That shows that they really think he can play. And as a rookie, like obviously they trust Tate, and Tate's had his up and downs this season. But the fact that Miles went in there, and he did have a couple, hiccups when it comes to penalties and things. But like again, like for them to run the ball right behind him and Taylor on his first possession in the NFL, I think that's as well like telling. Like if you have a rookie guard in there for the first time in week 13 or week 14, you're probably like, hey, let's run it behind Penei Sewell and Tate, the 2 guys that have been there all year. And they said, nope, we're going to run it right behind Miles Frazier. And what did they do? They ran it right behind Miles Frazier. And what happened? Got a touchdown. So I want to go back and see. I do want to see grades. I want to see how he played. But I just think it's telling to see the fact that they trust him already. Because like this year, you saw that Christian Mahogany is your starting left guard, essentially. They did that with Christian Mahogany last year. Now, my only question is, how does that fit into this offense? Because you do have now at this point, if Christian Mahogany comes back this season, you have Christian at left, you have Tate at right. Where does Miles Frazier fall, right? Like, do they move Tate to center? Probably not. I would think there's a really low % chance they do that. But then you have that third guy. Like, where do you throw him? If he's that good, like, what if Miles Frazier is that good? And he's like, yeah, you got to have him on the football field. And he ends up getting there.
I'd be curious what they see him at long term. Like, I wonder what Hank Fraley would say about that.
Tackle.
Like, what do you think his position? What does he look more natural at? You know, he's big. He's 6'6". He's long. He's athletic. You know, he played some tackle. I don't know if you maybe he could play. I don't know. Maybe they see him as a left guard strictly. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. That's what happens in the NFL, man. You miss some time. Guy comes in, looks better than you. As much as Christian Mahogany has shown some good things this year, he's been a little up and down. That's the unfortunate part of getting hurt, is if Miles Frazier comes in and looks way better than Mahogany, it's like, well, your spot's not guaranteed, my friend. You know, it's like if Miles Frazier looks really good, let's say they go draft a center next year or left tackle, they might be building an offensive line and you might be the odd one out. It just depends we'll see more of Miles Frazier this year. But the thing is, you saw Christian Mahogany last year in like 2 games or a game or 2, and he looked really good. Yeah. Now you're going to have an opportunity now, Miles Frazier. And I'll tell you what, Miles Frazier doesn't have Frank Ragnow next to him. So, he looked pretty good. So I'd be curious to see moving forward kind of how much he actually is playing, because he might be your future guard.
I just want to say this Lions team would win a Super Bowl if Frank wasn't hurt.
Well, he would. Yeah, he would. I mean,
they would win a Super Bowl. This team would be. Yeah,
he's significantly better than Graham Glasgow. I mean,
if the defense plays like they did yesterday and Frank was there, you would have won. Like, this would have been a Super Bowl year. There's a chance you don't win a Super Bowl because of a hamstring.
A grade 3 hamstring tear.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's
one hamstring.
That's the question I wanted to ask. So we have, while we got you the last, 25, 30 minutes, I do want to get into the contenders thing. I do. I want to have that conversation, and we'll talk about the confidence and if the Lions are still contenders, or are they back to being contenders? But before we do that, let's hear from our friends over at Sleeper. I've interrupted the video to tell you about our friends over at Sleeper and the new promotion they have going on. A brand new promotion is now live on Sleeper that could be paired with the 100% deposit match promotion that's already been going on. It's a free $20, no deposit required, plus first-time users will also receive 100% deposit match up to $100. Use the code CT Sports. You guys should already be using Sleeper. It's one of the fastest organically growing fantasy platforms in the entire world, with millions and millions of active users. They are crushing it. And if your state allows it, you should be using Sleeper Picks. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. You just choose 2 to 8 of your favorite players from pregame live or across different sports. Pick more or less than the predicted stats. And on Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. Share with your friends. Get rewarded together. Don't forget, code CT Sports. Get a $100 deposit up to $100, and you got your free $20 entry. Sleeper is taking care of their customers. Always remember, gamble responsibly. Now let's get back to the video. All right, I'll ask the question, chat. Let's hear it. We were talking about it this week. Confidence level in the Lions being Super Bowl contenders was at an all-time low. All right. At least over the last 2 years. Didn't feel good. I mean, last year was bad because of all the injuries, but people were sad. People weren't confident. After last night's win over the Dallas Cowboys, where are we at? What's the temperature in the room? Are we back? Are we back to contender status? You actually declared the Booner path is over a couple days ago.
No, I said it's under construction. Under construction was the term.
What do you think? 1 through 10, chat. 1 through 10. 10 being contenders, 1 being no freaking way. They're not contenders. Where are you at? Just go from 1 to 10. But Boone, are we back?
So I think this is a very good conversation. I did have the conversation about the Booner path. I had Jeff. I had you right where I wanted you. Honestly, this is exactly what I wanted, to put you in a little bit of a pretzel here going into the end of the season. It is under construction. I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, Booner path is fully a go. Like, this team is the greatest team that we've ever seen in our life. They should win the Super Bowl. But what I will say is this, and I said it yesterday, and I'm going to be very, very honest about it. When this team is playing like they did last night, they will have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. Bless you. Bless you. They will have a chance to compete for a Super Bowl. I truly do believe this. I'm going to say this, out of 10, I'd probably go 7, 6, 7.
No, go on.
Just can't recover. Those two numbers just absolutely have rattled our lives, and I hate it. Me realizing how many times in real life you actually do say like 6, 7 is like insane. It's the worst. I hate it. It's changed my outlook at those two numbers forever. I'll go around 7 though, because listen, I still think they have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, and they have an opportunity, everything ahead of them, right? Like what you saw last night, I think should give people confidence to where if they can play like that, I said it yesterday, if they can play like that, Jeff, on a consistent basis and put that performance together for 3 to 4 weeks, you can win a Super Bowl. And the reason behind that isn't just, hey, this Lions team, they're the greatest team since sliced bread. Like, we've never seen a team like this in the NFL before. It's not that. It's the fact that the NFL right now is just down. Like, across the board, like your top tier teams at the moment aren't like the best you've ever seen. You know what I mean, Jeff? Like, how sometimes you go into a year and you're like that Tampa Bay Bucks team when they won, you're like, dude, that could be one of the greatest teams. Like, some of these teams could be some of the greatest teams of all time. Like that Chiefs team, the Eagles team, like the Eagles team last year, like, man, that's one of the best Super Bowl champions we've seen, right? Like, top to bottom, defense is elite, offense is elite. What team this year really goes out and stands out? Like, the Patriots are a young football team that, yeah, they're 11-2. They have one of the easiest schedules in NFL history, and they're taking advantage of that. So once you get to the playoffs, is youth going to kind of tear them back? The Denver Broncos, you see how like their defense is elite, but that offense, man, they get bailed out constantly. The next best team in the AFC, Jeff, is the Jacksonville Jaguars at 8-4. Or you could be like the Chargers, the Bills, maybe. Like, see what I'm saying? Like that, it's not like in the AFC, and then you go to the NFC, and you're like, the Bears are the number 1 team in the NFC. You've beat them by 30 earlier this year. I'm not saying that's them, but you see what I'm saying? Like, they're not like the great, like they're not a team that you're like, oh, that's the greatest team we've seen. Like, no, you can beat that Bears team. The Rams, like, they're probably the best team in football right now. They just lost to a Carolina Panthers team. They slipped up. I think everyone has showed in the NFL this year, like, hey, it's wide open. And if this Lions team plays at their best at the right time, they're going to have a chance to go on a run and win a Super Bowl, or at least put themselves in a position. And maybe I was wrong and a little too premature. And I should have waited. You did tell me, hey, but we should wait until maybe after the Cowboys game. And listen, they proved everyone wrong. And it wasn't just us. It was 80% of the people out there just thought they were going to lose this game. And if you lost this game, you're probably out, right? Like, you're looking 20% chance of making the playoffs if you would have lost last night. And backs against the wall, man, this team finds a way to win, man. They really do, Jeff. So that's why, for me, I would say it's not fully over. I'm not gonna take them out as contenders. I'm just gonna keep them right there at probably the very bottom of the contender list. I would throw them with the team right now. What team would I put them with? I don't know. I mean, they're just in the pack, dude. There's no teams that just really stand out besides maybe the Rams right now for me. There's really not. I think they could beat any team in the NFL right now. I really do. Let me see real quick. Let's play the guessing game before you go, Jeff. What are the odds for the Rams Lions game? Close your eyes too, because I don't want you to look at the chat.
No. I'll say, so it's in LA. I'll say Rams 3.5.
4.5.
I almost win 4.5.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's not like they're like absolute dogs. Like, they're 4.5 point underdogs, right? Like, you can win that game. Like, you're right there in that game. So, and you're on the road too. So if you make it a neutral site, it's really almost a pick 'em. It's a 1.5. So I think they're right there, man. They just have to. I think the biggest thing. I think the word of the year, and I'm going to say this every week going forward: consistency. I love that. Consistency. If they can find a way to be consistent when they play at their best, they're one of the best teams in football. They just can't stay consistent. They cannot. If they can put back-to-back weeks together, though, then your confidence starts to turn a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just stacking performances on top of each other. I think they've kind of they failed to do that since the Chiefs game. I mean, they won 4 straight. They beat the Bears after the Packers lost. Bears, Ravens, Browns, Bengals. And then after that, they lost to the Chiefs. And then ever since then, it's been like a back and forth. That lost to the Chiefs, beat the Bucks, lost to the Vikings, beat the Commanders, lost to the Eagles, beat the Giants, lost to the Packers, beat the Cowboys. It's like you got to be more consistent than that. I think that's what people are expecting. To your point, you gotta be more consistent than that. And I think for me, are they contenders? Well, based on my definition, I have them as contenders. But to say, I don't know, they're going to win the Super Bowl. I need to see it, and this isn't call it a cop out, but you got to see more out of this team. I think the defensively is where it's been. They had turnovers yesterday, which I think is a massive thing. They had, they got sacks, but overall, like defensively, they've dropped off in overall numbers, which I guess is a little more concerning. The first half they were good last night, but I'm just saying, I'm not talking about this game. I'm talking about the last like 5 games. They've kind of they had the Eagles game where they looked really good, and they've had some the Giants game didn't look good. The Packers game didn't look good. I know the Vikings game they lost, didn't necessarily look good. But they kind of, I think we were talking about this defense a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about how they're like top 10 in some categories. They're outside of the top 10. They're actually outside of the top 15 in some categories. They're 17th in opponent points per game, 16th in opponent yards per game, 15th in opponent points per play, 14th in opponent yards per play. They're 11th in third down defense. Like, I want to see the defense kind of get back to maybe not, I'm not talking about them as the 85 Bears, but just be a little more consistent too. It's actually, we talk about the offense all the time. It's like, dude, we got to look at this defense a little bit too. They got to get back to, they got to be better in some categories as well, because they are the healthier side of the ball technically. I know they lost Brian Branch, but Kirby Joseph's coming back. They still have some, you're talking about Aiden on your D-line, Jack in your linebacker core, and then we'll see if Kirby plays. But DJ Reed at corner. They got some talent on defense. It's not like they're just
and they have these games where they like defensively, they're like very good. Like yesterday in the first half, just not giving up a touchdown versus CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Like just not like that's incredible. The Eagles game, like that offense, to be able to do what you did versus the Eagles, defensively they figure that thing out, man.
Yeah. No, they've had performances where they look like a Super Bowl defense. And I've said it out of my own mouth. It's a Super Bowl defense. They've had spotty performance. So I think consistency isn't just the offense and the offensive line. I'm talking about as a whole, offense, defense, special teams. I want to see more consistently. One thing great teams always do is they play complementary football, and the most complete teams always win Super Bowls. You got to be complete. You got to be able to have a good defense, a good offense. I mean, you brought up the Rams. The Rams just came off a loss to the Panthers, so it's not obviously ideal. And I agree with you. There's not like a clear-cut dominant team. I would still say the Rams are number one, but the Rams are, they're second in points per game on defense. They're first in points per play. They're 13th in yards per game, but their third down defense, they're 8th. And then offensively, they're top 10 in multiple categories. So they're a top 10 on both sides of the ball. That's where you want to get closer to by the end of the year. It's like you're playing like a top 10 offense. You're playing like a top 10 defense. Now, their offense has been really good. The Lions offense this year, I think they're number one right now in points per game. Let me see. They're third in the league in yards per game, like second in the league in yards per play. They've gotten better on third down. I think they're 19th now. Remember we talked about them being like 26. So they're better. They've gotten better on third downs, but they're number one in touchdowns per game. Like their offense they've had better games.
As much as we say the offensive line stinks, the offense does. They have great performance. It's because they have just so much talent, man. Like this team is one of the most talented teams in football. It's just, again, it's about putting it all together. And if they do it at the right time, like yesterday, they kind of put it together. And like I've seen this comment multiple times. I saw Jesse just put it in there. I've seen it multiple times though about like Stafford. Like, well, next week, like you're going up against Puka and Devontae. Stafford's going to go great. Like, I get that, and I would say before this last week, I would have said the same thing. Dak just threw for 350 on you, and you won by 2 touchdowns. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there's a world where, like, offensively, if this offense goes out there and puts 20 plus up or 27 up, like, yeah, you could throw for 350 and 3 touchdowns, but that only gets you to 21 points. We're just gonna outscore you. Like you got to still stop Jahmyr Gibbs. You still got to stop Amon Ra and JMO. You see what I'm saying? Like I just think there's a world where it's like, who cares? Like, yeah, Stafford's going to get his, right? Like he got his versus the Panthers. What did the Panthers do? One, they created a couple turnovers. If you can create some turnovers, he can throw for how many 100-yard. Let me see. Hold on. This is fun to look at. Like, go ahead. Like if these guys want to go off, like CD had 121 yards yesterday. Ryan Florney had 115 yards. You have 376 total passing yards. It's like, I get it. Like, yeah, Stafford's going to go nuts, but if you can still find a way to win, just because he throws for 350 and 3 touchdowns, that doesn't guarantee a win. We know that here in Detroit.
I think the thing that's not ideal, and you would agree with this, is it just puts a lot of pressure on your offense. It's like the Packers game. Jordan Love threw for a bunch of yards and touchdowns, but they all, you know what I mean? It's a lot of pressure on your offense because they lost that game 31-24. So it's like if you're not scoring, like you don't want to be in a position where the Lions were 2 years ago, where you got to score 40-30 to win a game. Like that's
every game. Yeah, I agree.
That's tough. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. But there's got to be those games, like for some quarterbacks, it's just going to happen. Like Stafford, like Dak. I think Dak is just a quarterback every week, no matter what. He's going to throw for 300. That's just who he is.
And I think Stafford's probably in that same equation.
Yeah. So it's like these are just games where it's like you have to win that way. Now there are other games, obviously, like when we do play the Bears, like you don't have to, you know, maybe it goes down on your defense.
300.
Yeah. So it's you just got to play the way the game is, and it's like, yeah, you're probably not going to hold Matthew Stafford to 200 yards. You just have to know that, but you have to find a way. Like I think it was great for Dan Campbell yesterday to be like, I went to Jared Goff this week and said it's on you, and I think it's the same thing next week. I think you go to Jared Goff and say, hey, this is another game on you.
I'll tell you what though, that the Rams can score points obviously, but their defensive line is very good. So that's going to be a massive test for the O-line, but their secondary they're gettable. Like Bryce
you were just telling me that the other day. Yeah.
Bryce Young had 2 fourth-down touchdown passes against them. I mean, like Emmanuel Forbes got cooked. I mean, you can get them. Their secondary can be got. Emmanuel Forbes.
Who's that?
Based on last week, it's probably fair to ask who is that. I mean, he gave up 2 massive plays, and so they're gettable. It just comes down to, you know, your offense. Yeah, they're going to play well, but can you be opportunistic on defense again? Because the Panthers picked off Matthew twice. One of them was a pick 6, and they forced a fumble, and they beat the Rams by 3. So it's like if you're going to beat the Rams, man, it's going to have to be kind of in the same fashion where you're getting turnovers. That's what those games come down to. You know what I mean? It comes down to you got to force turnovers. Like you mentioned, the turnover battle next week, that's even more important.
Huge.
Yeah. If you're not getting turnovers.
I am so interested to see like the D line. AQM had a bit, and Dan mentioned it today or yesterday. And I don't know if he's like, I don't know if they're trying to, I don't know, like not excusing Aiden Hutchinson, but they're basically like Aiden's taking a lot of the, you know, a lot of the double teams, a lot of this. AQM, he essentially was like AQM finally won his one-on-ones. You have to see that again next week, man. You do. You have to see some of these guys keep making plays. Like Aleem finally had a sack. AQM had 3.
I'll say this about it because I know Dan. I did hear Dan Campbell be like, yeah, he gets the most attention, which is true, by the way. He does command the most attention. I think what we have to also keep in mind is Micah Parsons leads the league in double teams. So so it's like, that's why, is it fair to say that maybe Aiden, he's not in that Micah Myles Garrett tier yet? Or would you disagree with that? Because
no, I think you have to go out there and produce to do that. Obviously, like I thought he was, and I think a lot of people, it wasn't just me. I think there was majority Lions fans thought that he was going to go out and produce like that. I said
15 plus sacks.
Yeah, like I said last night, like when you get paid $40 million plus, like the expectation is 15 sacks. Like that's just at that price, that's what it is. And I know like that's putting a number on it, and people like don't want to. But it is like you have to produce. You really do. And he does other things. It's not that he doesn't. Like I do think the money is worth like him ending a game a couple weeks ago off a sack. Like Like, I think he makes plays like that other people just can't. But I think it's just more so, again, word of the year, consistency. I think it comes down to that every time. It's just like, can he consistently do that? He does in certain moments, but there's just times where it's just like, you know, you have to in some moment, like, you have to step up. AQM cannot be like, AQM is making $1 million a year. You're making 40 plus. He can't lead the team in sacks over you. That's your job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking right now. Let's see. I wanted to see like the chip percentages and everything. PFF has all that stuff, but it's interesting. I mean, I'm not saying Aiden, by the way, gets double teamed a lot too. You know, I'm not saying the guy is just, I mean, he gets chipped. They throw everything in the kitchen sink. And that's why I will not deny. That's why AQM had a game, because he was had a bunch of one-on-ones. I mean, he just won one-on-ones. And I think he was facing at times that backup tackle they had because Tyler Guyton was out. So AQM feasted. You know, and I do want to have a conversation about the D-line, because we have been crapping on the D-line. And I had all these stats that I, wrote out the last couple of weeks. I put out a video last week talking about how I'm concerned. And AQM goes out and gets 3 sacks, which, again, is like, I want to give credit. I'm not trying to be like, oh, it doesn't mean anything. AQM had 3 sacks. I mean, he leads the team in freaking sacks at this point. And how many snaps did he barely plays any snaps? I mean, he played a lot more yesterday.
I don't know. I'm going to see if there's a snap count yesterday.
He probably played a lot more yesterday, but the last couple of games, he hasn't really been playing a lot of snaps.
Oh, so, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So Jack Campbell obviously led the team. Shout out to Avonte Maddox, 98%. Moved down. Guess what percentage do you think Aiden Hutchinson?
93.
94% of the snaps. Should not happen. They need to get that down. Aleem McNeil is at 73% of the snaps. Derek Barnes 71%. Marcus Davenport 48%. He has 39 snaps. AQM 38. Less than Marcus Davenport. More productive.
38's kind of high. High for him.
Yeah, and then
they kept playing him yesterday. Hot hand.
Yeah, and then interior, DJ Reed had 28 at 34%. Roy Lopez 28%, and Ty Leak. I mean, Roy Lopez is still getting Ty Leak snaps. Roy Lopez 28%. Ty Leak 27%.
Lopez County in the middle.
Yeah. I do also want to point out Trevor Nowatzki, 14 snaps. Malcolm Rodriguez, 2.
Hey, Trevor Nowatzki, man.
Shout out Rodriguez, man.
Special teams demon. I mean, special teams demon. Yeah, I think that's the conversation we had yesterday with the D-line. I want to start by saying this. I've always stayed consistent with AQM. I don't think AQM is a bad player. Okay. Obviously, he's having a career year. So he's not a bad player at all.
You hate AQM?
Yes. I think my issue with AQM is, and it's not AQM, actually. I don't have an issue with him at all. I think it's more Brad Holmes. I think AQM is what he is as a player. Typically, besides this year, he's been really good. But he's someone that I think it's hard for a guy like AQM, who's, he's bounced around the league. He's been, I think with the Colts, he had a career high in sacks. It was like 6 sacks. Like he can get you sacks. And this year, he's been really hot. But I think Brad, relying on him to be your full-time number 2 edge this year. Production-wise, it's working out. But I think on a typical year-to-year basis, he's probably more of like a rotational piece, kind of bring some juice to you. This year, he's obviously played like,
to be honest.
But
to be honest though, like, and I'll devil's advocate, like, I'll play Brad's side here. Brad wasn't relying, and I know that it's bad because he was relying on this guy, but he was relying on Marcus Davenport to be your edge too. Like, that was his, which is a different conversation. But like, I look at it like this. I think he was looking at AQM when he brought AQM last year. AQM was the James Houston, what you wanted James Houston to be. Like, he was supposed to be that third down, that kind of like, can come off the edge fast, can go out there and get a sack when it, like, that's what I think his vision for AQM was. When Davenport went down this year, like, think about it, the first week or so when Davenport was playing, remember, AQM wasn't getting that many snaps. Like, it wasn't until Davenport went down and they were like, okay, we need someone. AQM stepped up and started playing well. Like, I will give credit to Brad. Like, we do go at Brad a lot for this. I will give credit to Brad. He replaced James Houston with the better James Houston. AQM is better than James Houston. Like people could be like, oh, James Houston had a sack last night. Oh, he's leading the Dallas Cowboys in sacks. AQM has 9 sacks, dude. He's better than James Houston.
Yeah.
Like even last night, look at the performance last night. You James Houston, AQM on the same football field, 1 sack to 3. And it wasn't close. Like AQM was clearly the better player. So like I will give credit to Brad. Brad upgraded that position when it comes to kind of your third edge rusher, like that speed package, that NASCAR package, edge rusher across from Hutch. Like that was supposed to be James Houston. It was James Houston. AQM's a better version of that. So I will give Brad credit with that because we do go at Brad a lot. You have to give him credit where credit's due. I will say, like, in his vision, I see where the vision was. It didn't work out. And I think instead of being like, well, AQM, he's not that, I think it's more so like, hey, Brad just messed up with Marcus Davenport. Like, you should have went out and got a better Marcus Davenport for this year. Point blank, period.
Fair. That's fair.
That's it. Point blank, period. Because I don't think you can put AQM in that conversation. I don't. And I think what he's doing this year, the 9 sacks, man, the fact that Brad upgraded James Houston to AQM, like he deserves a little bit of praise for that one. He does. He just swung and missed on Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, and that was the point I was trying to make. Is I don't even want to have an AQM conversation because I think he's been really good. It's more so it more so has to do with Marcus Davenport. To your point, it's just like that's the guy you kind of depended on to be your starter, and he just hasn't really been. I mean, he's not even on a year-to-year basis. I mean, he's not available, but even when he was playing, he hasn't really been that productive. So that's more so my bone to pick with Brad. It's not necessarily AQM. I think AQM, you've gotten more money. You've gotten your money's worth out of AQM.
Problem with AQM, it's like you're in the position with AQM the Eagles have been in with like Josh Sweat and some of these guys where you're probably not going to be able to bring AQM back. I believe he's on the let me see. I'm pretty sure he's on the last. He's only on a 1-year deal. 1 year for $1.4 million. Like he's not coming back to Detroit next year. He's going to go get $6-7 million somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Like I don't know. Like is he worth that? Maybe he is. But again, like he's not your edge 2, but he's earned edge 2 money from someone. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? So, maybe he does in Detroit, but I just think that he's kind of played himself into like his career. He really hasn't gotten paid, man. Like he hasn't. He's had a couple years where he's had 2 or 3 million, but he's never had a season for him. Like he has 13 million on it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years in the NFL. He's made 13 million. So I think he deserves to go get his bag after having over at least 9 sacks as of now. He deserves it.
Yeah, he's and by the way, I want to show you this tweet that you sent me last night. The most important player for the Lions. What the hell? Dan Orlovsky says Dan Skipper.
He said this like yesterday or 3 days ago or 2 days ago. He said 2 days ago Dan Skipper is the most important player for the Cowboys. And then yesterday had 20. Yesterday he had 23 snaps. And he actually had the blocking wise, the man is very good for you. So I gotta head out, boys.
That's insane. All right, Boone.
I'll see you. I'll be tuned in.
All right, we'll see you later.
And by the way, whoever just put that in the chat. Oh no. No. Breaking news. Brian Branch, Tom Pelissero feared to have suffered an Achilles injury on Thursday.
No way.
Yeah, I don't know if it's fully torn or what. I thought that was a joke in the chat. I was like, don't do that. That looks like that's what it is. I'm going to post that right now.
All right,
I got to head out.
All right, I'll see you later, my friend. I'll talk about this. All right, so here we go, chat. This is what just happened. This just came across. Lions standout DB Brian Branch is feared to have suffered an Achilles injury on Thursday night. Branch will have further tested this morning, but another potential blow to a Detroit team coming off a huge win. This is so bad. I mean, dude. Oh my gosh. The thing about, I mean, it's so unfortunate for Brian Branch, man. Like I feel so bad for the guy. And he's battled. He's had some foot. He's been dealing with a foot injury. And if you watch the play in which he got hurt, it kind of does make sense. It does make sense. And the thing that sucks is Achilles injuries, guys. That'll keep you out in the next year. All right, especially this late in the year. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, it's December. I'm not saying he'll be out all of next season, but he'll miss some games next year as well. So that's tough, man. Brian Branch is one of the more important players on defense. I know this year he hasn't necessarily had a bunch of interceptions, or he's made he does the dirty work, and I know he hasn't had as good of a season as he did last year, but he's been dealing with a lot of injuries, and we'll find out more updates on that. But this defense, if you're going to win a Super Bowl, man, if there was any little slither of hope, or there's more hope after last night's game, Brian Branch is a player you definitely rely on. I mean, without him, you're basically looking at Thomas Harper and Avonte Maddox. That's your two safeties. Without Kirby comes back. Now you have probably Thomas Harper and Kirby, or Kirby and Avonte Maddox, whatever it is. But that's tough, man. Achilles injuries are absolutely brutal. And the thing you could say about a lot of these injuries that are occurring to the Lions is there's not too many. I mean, there hasn't been any this year, at least from what I remember, that are as bad as like an Achilles injury. Like Sam Laporta has a back injury, but he'll be out for the season, but he'll play. I mean, he'll be back next season. TA, same thing. He'll be back next season. You haven't had an injury like this. This is like Ali McNeil tearing his ACL last year. It's like that type of injury where you're like, oh, especially for a guy like Brian, who's trying to get paid. I mean, you can't help but feel bad for the guy. I mean, it sucks, man. It sucks. It really does. And those Achilles injuries sneak up on you too, man. I mean, they do. It doesn't look like usually some injuries you see and it's like, okay, that's a graphic injury, or you could see something happen. Sometimes those Achilles injuries, depending on the angle, you could see the Achilles pop sometimes, but just him, it looked like he like sprained his ankle or something. I don't know when he landed, but obviously it's much worse. So devastating news. And that's why Dan Campbell, and now it makes sense, last night when they asked him about Brian Branch's injury, he said there's no update because they were probably doing tests on it, which makes sense. If it was something lesser, he probably would have said it, They probably would have gave Dan Campbell some sort of, some sort of information, And then you have Kirby dealing with the knee injury, which, I mean, rumors are going every. I mean, there's all types of rumors with the Kirby injury. People are saying it could be more severe than it actually is. Could he miss the year? He's been out for like 6 games. So it's just like, and Luke is right too. I mean, probably should have known when he got carted off. So that's terrible, man. That is absolutely terrible for Brian Branch. So tough. Calvin Shepard. Got to figure it out now, man. You got to figure it out. Hopefully Kirby comes back for the Rams game, but that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Damn, man. Did not expect that. That's tough. Salty Pork Chop says Kirby's not better than Brian or than Branch, and Kirby may never be the same. See, I don't want to get into the. I don't know. I don't know the exact injury with Kirby Joseph. I know that's what people say. He might not be the same with the knee injury. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know. If it's that bad, I mean, oh my God, that seems like the Lions franchise just overall cursed. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous with injuries. I can't. It's ridiculous. Xavier D, let's wait to hear the severity. If it's just a strain or a minor tear, he will be okay. That's true too. Xavier D's right. Wait for more of the diagnosis because you don't know how bad it is. I mean, it's an Achilles injury. I don't think they said tear. They just said injury. So we don't know yet. I'm holding out hope, even though that might not be the right thing to do, but I'm holding out hope. By the way, I'll get to a mailbag. We're going to go to about 9:30, so I'll get to a mailbag probably about 9:15, and we'll do a 15-minute mailbag. I'm going to give out my picks for the NFL weekend at about 9, a little after 9. So the next 10 minutes, I did want to discuss a couple other things. One of them, obviously, the breaking news with Brian Branch. I want to get your guys' thoughts on really overall confidence level just going into next week against the Rams now. I mean, no Brian Branch. We'll see with Kirby Joseph. I mean, listen, this sucks. This sucks. This sucks. Luke says, I'm feeling optimistic after the win, but if Brian Branch, Kirby, and Taryn end up all being out, it's sketchy. That's what we have to wait and see, because Taryn Arnold already out. Kirby probably questionable at this point, and then Brian Branch, I don't think he plays. So that's obviously going to suck against a really good wide receiver core, but it does not help. Let me see. Crazy Clown. I was told the Lions were supposed to plan for Branch and Kirby to be injured and have first-round picks to get them back in case they got injured, not third or fourth-round draft picks. I mean, I'll just say this, and I'm not trying to poo-poo or anything. It would probably be more beneficial if Sione Vaki didn't get injured all the time. So Sione Vaki is supposed to be safety, so he's supposed to be the safety. It is what it is. Anakin says, I'm more confident we have a chance, but Stafford plus a banged-up secondary is not a good combination. Luke says, also Reed didn't play great. Amik made a big mistake, got bailed out by a bad throw. By the way, Amik Robertson, we got to figure that out. That's a whole nother thing. If Amik can get back to Amik, he had a great game against the Eagles. He's had great games this year in general. We got to get that Amik back, because I'm telling you right now, if you get last night's Amik against the Rams, I don't know what's going on with Amik Robertson. I think he's given up the most yards in man coverage. DJ Reed giving up a bunch of yards. The interception did not take away from the fact that both those corners were really bad yesterday. And I think we can't forget that. I mean, you won the game, but I mean, Ryan Flournoy had 100 yards yesterday. What? I mean, that is, like Gabe says, Amik just has to treat every receiver like he's covering Justin Jefferson. Yeah. That's just, I mean, yeah, honestly, that's probably the way he should look at it. SW Lion, man-to-man coverage against Dallas receivers is a tall task, but better pass rush contributed to those interceptions. You're absolutely right, SW. You're spot on, man. You get pressure, it helps out. Now, turnovers help out. It's kind of like the bend, don't break approach, which probably isn't ideal. I understand that, but we remember the last 2 years with this Lions team where they would give up yards, but they would be opportunistic. I mean, even look back at the NFC Championship run. That defense wasn't elite, but they were opportunistic. They got takeaways. You went to the NFC Championship game off a Derek Barnes interception. Defense actually had a much better game in that game. But they were an opportunistic defense. So again, is that something that you should depend on? No. They have more talent than they did then. They do. Players are much better. Even I know they don't have Brian Branch for the year probably, and no Kirby Joseph maybe until next week, but they haven't had Kirby Joseph. But they are a better Jack Campbell's a better player. You know, the guys are growing in their roles. You know, I think Derek Barnes is even a better player from that time. So I don't think this defense should be much better than a bend don't break, even though they won playoff games with that approach. But I really believe in the talent they got on defense. They just got to get takeaways. Play better in coverage. I don't know. Man coverage specifically. Because I'll tell you what, against the Rams, those two, Devontae and Puka, very good against man coverage. Luke 54. Zone coverage was great. We need to play more. I think Shep is still figuring out a good balance, but I think we need to lean on disguised zone blitzes. And by the way, rather be fishing Fred. He says new sub. Appreciate that, Fred. Appreciate the sub. Talking about consistency last night was the first time in many weeks we have seen consistency in play calling on both sides of the ball. I would agree with that, Fred. I think defensively, though, there's still some inconsistencies. Just like, I mean, they gave up a ton of yards. First half, though, defense looked really good. And you could say, well, Brandon Aubrey hit a bunch of long field goals. Yeah, but, at the end of the day, there's good kickers in this league, man. Like, they are getting into a position where they can kick field goals. I mean, one of those field goals was on the 20-yard line. So they probably could have tried and scored there, but they didn't. And they kicked the field goal. But I would agree with you, though. Play calling on offense, for sure. More consistency. This is Luke's comment from earlier I wanted to bring up. If we draft a first or second round edge rusher, rotate him in AQM on the other side of Hutch, that could be great. Keep Davenport to fill in for Hutch when he needs a breather. I agree with you. That's why that edge is important. And I wouldn't mind them. I know we're going to do this whole thing again before the draft. Draft an edge. I don't know. Excuse me. What is Brad Holmes going to say about that? Probably won't love it, but draft an edge, Brad, please. Xavier Aubrey is an AI construct. Yeah, he is. He's AI. He's not real. The guy makes 60-plus yard field goals look like chip shot. I mean, the guy is he's kicking them like extra points. He's the best kicker in the league, man. He's the best kicker in the league. Brandon Aubrey. Steve Wild, appreciate you, bro, for tuning in. Shout out, Steve. He says, Laporta with back injury, Kirby busted knee, and Branch Achilles. Stuff. And I was just explaining earlier, it's like, at least Laporta, you're like, well, he'll be back next season, healthy. We got to wait and see what this Brian Branch Achilles injury is, how bad that is. And same with the Kirby Joseph knee thing. I want to get more clarity on that because that's still, I don't know how to feel about that knee injury right now. It seems like people are saying it's much worse than it actually is, but I don't know. I really don't. I'll tell you what, I'll do pick'em and then we'll get to mailbag. So I want to do pick'em for the weekend because we do our pick'ems every single week. We do them on Fridays typically, and obviously we're doing a morning show today. So it's just me today for the next 30 minutes or so. So I'm going to go through today's games, give out my pick'em. You guys can play along with me. We'll give out games. I know on Sunday the Lions don't play, so it'll be nice to go watch some NFL football and chill and enjoy a Lions victory. So that's the nice part of this whole thing. But let's get to it. NFL pick'em. I'm going to hold it down. I don't know what the standings are in our NFL pick'em. We do them every single week. But I would like to say I'm in first place, tied for first, but I'm going to give out my picks today. And then we'll get to Lions mailbag. Anything you guys have, any thoughts, concerns, ask that. Or mailbag. I'll do an extended one. Why not? I'll do this for the next 10 or so minutes, and then we'll jump right into mailbag. You guys can fire away the questions. All right. Let's do it. NFL pick'em. First game we're starting off with Seahawks, Falcons. Seahawks are favored by 7. It's in Atlanta. Seattle Seahawks are 9-3, guys. They're playing good football. I wish the Lions played the Seahawks. Maybe not now, but I would just like to see it. I would like to see that matchup. I don't know how good the Seahawks are. I think they're a good team. I want to see them measured up against the Lions. I want to see the Lions measured up against these teams. At this point, I'd rather them play bad teams just get in the playoffs. But it'd be nice to know kind of where they are compared to the Seahawks. They're favored by 7 against the Falcons, and I'm going to take the Seahawks in this game. I like them by 7. I think they're playing good football. Their defense looks really good. And the Seahawks have shown they can take care of teams that aren't playing that well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Seahawks in this game, and I'm going to take the 7 points. I like them. Second game, Bengals and Bills. Bills 5.5-point favorites at home. I like the Bengals in this game. They're underdogs 5.5 points. I know the Bills are at home, but still, Joe Burrow is back. They look like a completely different team. I like the Bengals. I'll take them. 5.5 points. I think they even if they lose by 3, which is probably more likely, they'll cover. So give me the Bengals in this game. Next game, Titans, Browns. No one's watching that. On to the next one. By the way, give me Shedeur. Commanders, Vikings. Vikings minus 1.5. I don't know if JJ's back or not. That's another one that's probably... Here, let me show this on screen so you guys can follow along. All right, Commanders, Vikings. Vikings 1.5-point favorites. Disgusting. Who's watching this game? Nobody. I don't even know if I want to pick this game. I'll take the Browns in the other game. This game, I don't know, man. Give me the Vikings, I guess. Is JJ playing? I don't know. Give me the Vikings. This game's disgusting. No one's watching this game. That's so bad. By the way, I picked the Vikings and missed the playoffs, man. I tried telling you guys. Dallas. Dolphins, Jets. Another disgusting one. Dolphins minus 2.5. Dolphins are actually playing. They're actually playing good football lately. I don't know why or how or what's going on with the Dolphins, but they're playing way better football. But give me the Dolphins in this case. They're playing good ball. And the Jets, I just don't have faith in the Jets. They should just keep losing, man. Don't stop messing around with draft position. Lose. Saints, Buccaneers, Bucks minus 8.5. They've already beat them already by a pretty wide margin. I mean, that's kind of a high number, though. They're at home against the Saints. Tyler Shuck's not playing bad ball by any means. Divisional game. They destroyed them last time, though. You know what? Yeah, I'll take the Bucks in this case. Screw it. I'll go with the better team. Give me the Bucks 8.5. I think they cover that. Next game, Colts, Jags. Indy minus 1.5. Daniel Jones apparently has a fractured leg, and he's still playing football. Jags are playing pretty good lately, too. Jags are at home. Indy's favorites on the road. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Who won in the last? Who won in the last matchup? Oh, this is the first time they're matching up. That's a good one. You know what? I can't trust Trevor Lawrence, man. Give me the Colts. Give me the Colts in this game. Next game, Steelers, Ravens for the division. Or take the lead in the division. Give me the Ravens. There's no way that the Steelers, you should be confident in the Steelers team. Honestly. There's no way, no how. Give me the Ravens to cover the 5.5 against the Steelers. Broncos, Raiders. Yep, I'm not even going to go. They gave me the Broncos. Bears, Packers. Packers minus 6.5. Who do you guys have winning this game? Bears, Packers. Packers minus 6.5. Favored by a touchdown at home. I might take the Packers in this one. I think the Bears are going to drop. They're going to lose eventually. Like, come on. Let's be real. I was high on the Bears. You know, I always said Ben was going to be a great head coach. And I thought the Bears would be pretty good this year. I thought they'd be a playoff team. I didn't think they'd be this good. I thought they'd be above 500, probably by a game or two. But you think the Bears go to Lambeau and beat the Packers? Because I might take the Packers in this one and take the Bears in Chicago. So I'm gonna roll with the Packers here. I don't know. Maybe the Bears can cover this one though. Yeah, you know what? Give me the Bears to cover, but the Packers win. Give me the Bears to cover, but the Packers win. Then you have two teams. You have a 9-4 team, and then you have a 9-3-1 team, which is just a whole nother thing. Rams, Cardinals. Rams minus 8.5. I like the Rams to cover. They're bouncing back after last week. They're probably going to blow the Cardinals out. That's just a fact. Chiefs, Texans. This is going to be a big one too. It's a great Sunday night game. Chiefs minus 3.5. Whoo! This is another good one, man. I don't think the Chiefs fall under 500. I don't see it. Maybe I'm crazy for that. Give me the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs in this game. They're 5-1 at home, guys. I hate the 3.5, though. I'll take the Chiefs in this one. Monday Night Football, Eagles, Chargers. Yeah, Philly minus 2.5 against the Chargers. Chargers don't look. They don't have. Honestly, I might like the Chargers in this one, guys. I might like the Chargers in this one. They're at home. Eagles don't have Jalen Carter. Yeah. I might like the Chargers in this one. Give me the Chargers. Screw it. I'll take them. I'll take the Chargers. Why not? Eagles haven't been playing well. This NFC is going to be the NFC is going to have a shakeup, guys, in the next couple weeks. I'm telling you, with how teams are. There's teams that are playing each other. Teams that don't look good at the top. The Rams are the only team, in my opinion, even coming after an upset, that look like the more consistent team. They just do. I'll get to an extended mailbag. The last 20 minutes of the show. Fire away your questions, guys. Mailbag. We talked a lot about different things today. We talked about the D-line. Talked about Jahmyr Gibbs. The Barry Sanders comparisons. We talked about the game. Are the Lions contenders? We talked about that as well. And I've already said I got to see a more consistent Lions team in order to say they're contenders. Or legit contenders, excuse me. They're technically contenders. But I'm saying, because my theory on it, if you're one of the better teams in your conference, you're a contender by default. I think there's probably 6 to 7 contenders, I would say, on a given year. I think the Lions, by the way, I didn't mean to say 6, 7 there, but the Lions, I think, should be probably in that equation as contenders. But if we're actually saying, can they win the Super Bowl, or will they win the Super Bowl? Not can they, will they? That's where I need to see more yet of them. If you ask me, will the Lions win the Super Bowl? I'll still say no. But they're contenders, if that makes sense. There's a difference. There's a difference there. SW Line, though, says, get out the tape and look what the Carolina Panthers did against the Rams. Well, very simple. I'll tell you. You don't need the tape to tell you. Turn the ball over. That's it. Turn the ball over. Force turnovers on the Rams. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat good teams. Got to force turnovers. Panthers did that 3 times. And they did, one of them was for 7, and the other one was a forced fumble to seal the game. That's how you beat the Rams. Okay? That they're not a team that's going to consistently beat themselves, but you have to kind of force them to. It's like you have to force them to make mistakes. They're a pretty well disciplined team. Matthew Stafford before that game hasn't really turned the ball over at all. So it is what it is. SDB Line, Jeff, with the injuries the Lions are suffering on D, is it time for Rodrigo to get more snaps? Well, he's actually getting some snaps already. I would say it's tough right now because Trevor Nowatzki still had more snaps in him this week. So that linebacker crew is just so deep that it's hard for Rodrigo to actually get snaps, because they have a healthy crew of linebackers. I think I think the safeties they're going to have to lean on. I think the big one, the big one for the safety room is whether or not Thomas Harper. I mean, he's got a clear concussion protocol. You need Thomas Harper to come back. I mean, he looked like he had a rough one against the Cowboys. He kind of got knocked out there. But the safety room, you need guys to step up in that safety room. You got 2 guys dealing with pretty serious injuries. One of them way more serious, I think. But still, 2 serious injuries. So that safety room, man, they're going to have to find someone in that. Justin Simmons? Hold on. Maybe Steve Wildes is onto something. Maybe Steve Wildes is onto something. Justin Simmons is a free safety, correct? Depends what happens with Kirby. Would those guys compliment each other? I mean, they're both ball hawks. But Justin Simmons might not be a bad option. If you want to go get a really good save, he's sitting out there. He's somewhere out there. And I'm sure he's been reached out to a bunch of times. He would be, I mean, he's a former All-Pro. So Justin Simmons would be an excellent signing. I think you got to bring in some depth. If Brian Branch is out and Kirby Joseph is, Kirby Joseph's dealing with a knee injury, they at least have to consider bringing, unless they like just Maddox and Harper or Maddox and Kirby or whoever. Crazy Clown says, I like Davenport in the middle, too. He seemed to always have shoulder issues as injuries. And pushing straight forward will take a lot of pressure off the shoulders. It's actually, I like that, Crazy Clown. I think Davenport, though, is it's tough. He's like the prototypical edge rusher the Lions like a lot, where he's big, he's physical. He gets, that's what he is. He gets push. But he doesn't get a lot of production. Yeah, he just hasn't. Maybe in the middle, though. I don't know. SW Line, this is where Brad Holmes and coaching staff earn their money. I don't know who they can bring in at this point. Yeah, the free agency is there's a reason. All the good players are signed, except for guys that are holding out, maybe for playoff runs, like Justin Simmons. He's a good player, but he's probably waiting for the right opportunity. Maybe that's someone you can reach out to and convince to play. I don't know. I think that'd be someone you at least have to make the phone call to. But you know how the Lions are. They believe in their guys. They do. And whether people like it or not, they might just say, you know what, Maddox, Harper, Daniel Thomas. I don't know if Daniel Thomas is even back. I think he is. Daniel Thomas. He is. So that they're going to have to lean on those guys if they don't decide to make a move. Yeah, you're probably gonna have to lean on those guys. But I will say, give credit where it's due. I thought Avonte Maddox yesterday was flying around. I want to see his PFF grade. I thought Avonte Maddox yesterday. He almost had an interception. He was first to he was first to tackle a couple players. I liked Avonte Maddox. I thought he brought a lot of energy. He's a backup for a reason, but he's a solid backup. I like him in that role. I do. He's very versatile. He can play nickel. He can play safety. He can play corner, outside corner. He's got a lot of versatility to him. How old is Avonte? He's 29 years old. I wouldn't mind if Avonte Maddox came back, honestly. I would. He's got so much versatility. I would like him in the room. He could play multiple different positions. So he played really well. So I probably see him playing a lot more going forward, playing a lot more safety going forward. For sure. Because when Thomas Harper went down, he came out. He brought a spark yesterday, for sure. SW Line says, when they cut Sterling Thomas and kept Will Harris, that's when I questioned their ability to evaluate. Sterling Thomas. Yeah, Sterling Thomas the 5th. That was the that was tough. I don't think they necessarily I think they cut him because Will Harris could play safety. I think they had all the corners they liked. The problem though isn't the Sterling Thomas for Will Harris. It's Sterling Thomas for Stephen Gilmore, who I liked, because they kept Stephen Gilmore as a corner over Sterling Thomas, and Stephen Gilmore never did anything and was cut. So Will Harris, I'm not a fan of Will Harris, but I understand he could play safety. They probably liked him in the safety room, special teams and stuff like that. But keeping Stephen Gilmore over Sterling Thomas the 5th was that was tough. It's a tough pill to swallow because you need a bad corner. So, GMs aren't going to be perfect. I know. Listen, I go at Brad Holmes plenty. I give him a lot of credit, too. I would like to think I'm pretty fair. I'm not just a strictly Brad Holmes hater, and I'm not just, praising the guy no matter what happens. I try to be fair, and I will defend him on some of those cases where he made the wrong decision. That is going to happen. He as a GM, you're not going to get it 100% right, and Sterling Thomas probably is one of those moments. It is what it is, So I will say it's like Brad's going to mess up. Some people believe he never messes up. And then some people believe he always messes up. Got to be somewhere in the middle with that. I don't think Brad's perfect, but he is a really good GM. And the Sterling Thomas stuff over Stephen Gilmore over Sterling Thomas obviously didn't work out. That is what it is. I can't believe the Brian Branch stuff. I still can't get over it. It's tough. I feel so bad for the guy. It's so bad. It's so bad. So tough. Achilles injuries, man, they're so brutal. By the way, this tweet's getting absolutely roasted. Look at this. Wait. Former NFL player Braden Fajoko. He tweeted out this yesterday at 5 o'clock. Former NFL player. If you haven't paid your rent this month, please take the Cowboys money line tonight. The emotional side of sports bettors will say the Lions are too good of a team to come off a loss last week and lose again. In reality, there's no team hotter than the Cowboys post-trade deadline. And then he posted the eviction notice. Oh, dude, that's so bad. I mean, that's why I have to give credit to the Lions for winning that football game, because this is what the narrative was. I mean, this Braden wasn't alone. I mean, listen, I picked the Cowboys to win. I'm not going to sit here and hide it. I picked the Cowboys to win. I picked to win by 10. I just thought I thought they were just too good. They were playing too good of football. They were trending up. The Lions were kind of trending down. I thought they were meeting at a spot where the Lions were just going to get snuck up on. Not snuck up on, but they were going to get beat by a team that's hotter. So I was wrong. It is what it is. I think a tweet like this, though, to put your freaking mortgage on the Cowboys is stupid. Do not do that. Gamble responsibly. But yeah, I picked the Cowboys. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, what an idiot, just for picking the Cowboys. How he phrased it is idiotic. I thought that I didn't think it. I'm not saying bet the freaking your mortgage on it, but yeah, I was wrong. I got no problem being wrong, guys. Listen, I'm gonna be wrong on things. Okay, obviously. So you guys know my takes. Hendon Hooker to be the franchise quarterback. I've said some stupid shit. I've been right at times. I've been wrong, very wrong at times. It is what it is. What a username, by the way. 62336. Okay, wow. They could look at the Carolina tape for 20 hours. Not going to matter. Nothing they did. Rams just had a bad day. I mean, I agree that the Rams, that was just one of those games in an NFL year. They beat themselves. The Panthers took advantage of mistakes they made. You could probably watch some of that tape. For example, if I remember correctly, the Panthers got some push in the middle when they were running the ball. Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. So might be something you can expose. There's definitely some stuff you can learn from that tape. I mean, I get what you're saying, but Jahmyr Gibbs, Dave Montgomery, what were they doing? I guess it might have been just more so the Rams just didn't have any effort. I don't know, but there's something you could take from that tape for sure. Maybe definitely tendencies Emmanuel Forbes has. They cooked his ass. They did. So go watch tape on him, J-Mo. Go cook him. Take care of his ass. Do that. Chase D says, win out, play the Panthers in the wild card. Panthers are battling too, man. They are battling too. They're trying to make the playoffs too. This playoff picture, I think this is for me. I mean, we've covered the Lions the last couple of years. I mean, I've covered them since 2021. So, I mean, I'm in my fourth year, fifth year. I would say to me, this is probably one of the more wide open years. Not even with like super, because I think the Rams are favorites, but it's like you don't know who's going to be in the playoffs. Like this next couple weeks, the Packers play the Bears twice. You have all these teams that are in the hunt, like the Lions are in the hunt, and they're 8-5 and they're in the hunt. So it's like there's just so much going on. The Eagles are 8-4, but they don't look that good. There's so many question marks with different teams. The Chiefs they're going to miss the playoffs. They could, unless they go 11-6, and sneak in. But there's so many. It's so weird things that are happening. The Bills that look like they have a bunch of holes, and usually the Bills, this could be their year, and they look like they have a bunch of holes. Patriots are the number 1 seed in the AFC. Like, what the hell's going on? That's what makes the NFL so great, man. Things happen in the NFL every year where you're just sitting there scratching your head. If I told you that the Bears and Patriots would be the number 1 seeds with rookie head coaches and young quarterbacks, second-year quarterbacks, you'd be like, what? What is going on? It's weird. It's a weird sport. That's why I love it. That's why it's fun. SW, that's true. I think there are 4 or 5 teams that can make the Super Bowl in the NFC. Yeah, you'd probably go, let's just look at it right now. Let's just break it down. So easily, obviously, Rams, I think Eagles you have to at least say the Eagles could. They're Super Bowl champions, so I at least got to give them that. But Rams, Eagles, you have the Bucks that are kind of trending. They could get hot. That's 3. I don't know about the Bears. I don't think they're a legit Super Bowl. People might say, oh, that's shocking. You're a Bears fan, aren't you, Jeff? No, I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl. All right. They're 9-3, but I think they're it's a good story, but I don't know if they can make a run to the Super Bowl. You go Seahawks, Packers, 49ers, Lions. There's just so many. Panthers are in the hunt. They're 7-6. Cowboys, I think, are still kind of in it at 6-6. I guess they could go 10-6-1, but I don't know if that'll be enough. I don't know. But yeah, NFC is very wide open. Then you go to the AFC. Patriots, Broncos, Jags, Ravens, Chargers. It's Colts, Bills, Texans. It's so weird over there too. Both conferences are weird. Rather be fishing Fred. He says, here's my 2 cents. Go Bears. Packers have the tie over us in the sweep. Lions win the next 3 or 4 games they are in. The game in Chicago could be where we are in or out. Can you imagine if the end of the year you're playing the Bears to get in? That would be insane. From a storyline perspective, that would be insane. I'm not saying that's ideal. At least in the position they're in, it's probably ideal. But as a fan, I would love that. Just as an just because I love the storylines. I'm a storyline guy. All right. That would be sweet. That would be in Chicago too. Oh my gosh, Lions fans! I imagine getting eliminated by Ben Johnson, dude. That would be so brutal. They don't even want to think about that. That would be so brutal, dude. Sometimes things just line up. Storylines just they make themselves. And that would definitely be a storyline for sure. Ben Johnson eliminating the Lions, or the Lions beating Ben Johnson and making the playoffs. That would be crazy. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. These Packers and Bears games, it seems like the Packers always kind of have the Bears number. That's where I'm kind of I'm curious. They always kind of have the Bears number. So I don't know this version of the Bears we haven't seen play the Packers with Ben Johnson, and then you have Ben's comments about Matt LaFleur. What you think Matt LaFleur's thinking about? For sure. How Ben was like, I did enjoy beating Matt LaFleur. Come on, Ben. Before you even coach a game. So I don't know. We'll see. Packers might get him twice. I wouldn't be shocked. Packers are a good team, believe it or not. And Michael Parsons is a freak. So. And you are right, SW. I think Ben Johnson's going to have them prepared for sure. Just Caleb Williams is really the X factor, man. He hasn't played well in some games. He's just been inconsistent. He's below 60% completion percentage. It's just, he hasn't been consistent. If Caleb Williams starts playing way better football, then they're going to be a dangerous team. But I don't think this year he's there yet. He probably needs another year in the system, if I'm being honest. I appreciate you all for tuning in today. I know we went a little bit earlier than usual, but I just think it was important that, we got to you guys early in the morning. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We appreciate the support as always. If you're a new subscriber like Fred, we appreciate you. We'll have content posted all throughout the day. So you're going to want to turn on the notification bell because you get alerted when we post. You can follow us on social media. Links are in the description. All of our socials, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. We have it. So go follow us on any social media platform that you have besides YouTube and get your merchandise. Christmas is coming up. We have so much merchandise available that you guys can get. Members, you have a discount code. It's on the community section. I posted, you might have to scroll a little bit, but it is on there. I gave out I think it's 15% off your total order. Go out and get some merchandise if you're a member. Even if you're not, just go get merchandise, man. Go get merchandise. We have all types of stuff. But until Monday, or tomorrow, I guess, with Caleb and Mike, but Monday for me, I'll be live Monday morning. I appreciate you all as always. Much love, guys. We'll see you later.